And welcome back to the channel. I'm Brant Fowler and I'm ready to talk to you about only good comics. Now let's hit that intro. Happy Halloween, everybody. It is time for another video, and this time on Only Good Comics, we are talking about, in honor of the spookiest of holidays, a horror book from Boom Studios called Something is Killing the Children. This is Volume 1, collecting issues 1 through 5. This is by James Tynion IV, Werther Dell'Edera, and Miguel Muerto. And as the back of the cover says, it's the monsters who should be afraid. Now, before we get into today's video, if you do enjoy the content on this channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video going up on Only Good Comics. And give us a thumbs up because it really does help the channel out. And you can follow me across social media at Only Good Comics. Now, let's get back to today's video. I actually just read this book this morning. I thought it would be a cool book to talk about on today of all days, Halloween. And again, happy Halloween to everybody that celebrates that spooky holiday. And this book is a phenomenal read. It was recommended to me a while back by Mike Spiderslayer, a good friend of mine, one of my co-hosts on Comic Book Weekly, over on the Comic Book Weekly YouTube channel. And it's something that I ordered a little while ago, and I just got the chance to read it. And again, like I said, I thought it would be a perfect time to talk about it, so I pulled it out and I just sat down and started reading it. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to read an entire trade today, but I did because I was totally pulled into the story, totally engaged with it. So if you are a horror fan, if you are a monster fan, a little bit of slasher, you like mystery and a little bit of thriller mystique to your horror comics, you are going to love this. But I will tell you that this is not for the squeamish. It is not for the faint of heart. There is a little bit of gore in this story, so be warned if you do check out Something is Killing the Children. It's not for everybody, but I really enjoyed this book. Obviously, I'm talking about it on this video of Only Good Comics. So, Something is Killing the Children starts off with a kid named James, and he's with a group of friends, and they're basically telling ghost stories or you know, horror stories. They're sitting around the living room having a sleepover, telling scary stories and that kind of thing. But then the story quickly shifts to reality and a horrific tragedy that occurs, and it results in mutilated, dismembered children and many other children gone missing. And that's kind of where our story really kicks off in the first few pages. And we're introduced to the start of the story, the girl there, and the girl you can see in my background, Erica Slaughter, who seems to have some experience at dealing with this kind of thing, you know, before. So as she comes to town and starts asking a bunch of questions and starts investigating this thing, we get to the root of what this is. And at the core, it is a monster hunting kind of story with a horror bent. And where this volume leaves off, it's like, okay, maybe the problem has been dealt with, but probably not, and it could be a lot bigger than we think it is. And of course, it continues on. I think it is up to issue like 27 at this point, 26 or 27. I got issue 25 because it had these really cool covers. It had two versions of her like face, and one was blood splattered. And I don't remember if it was die cut or if it was just like embossed or something. It was a cool effect. Anyway, so I knew that I was gonna like this just from getting volume 1 and reading through it and stuff. Or like flipping through it before I got a chance to read it. And of course, Mike Spiderslayer, he knows that I'm not a huge horror fan, but he knows what kind of stories I do like. So for him to recommend me a horror book, I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna enjoy this, and I totally did. The art, by the way, I'm trying to find a good page, and I'll probably toss some images up here on the screen as I'm talking about this. But just the pacing is really cool. Sometimes it goes across both pages, and sometimes it's just you read the page, the left and then the right page, but sometimes it goes across, so be careful on your reading order just to make sure you're reading it right. But then when the tone shifts, I'm trying to find a page that doesn't give away too much, you get the atmospheric, darker, moodier colors, and it's a really nice structured story with some really deliberate pacing as we are introduced to these characters, and as we have the contrast between the daytime investigation stuff, which is a brighter palette. It's all kind of muted, but it's still a brighter palette, yellows and creams and that kind of thing. And then when you get into the night, it's like the blues and the purples and reds, and you know, to kind of get you into that horror mode. But the characters that we're introduced to, there's so much mystery behind Erica Slaughter in these first 5 issues that you don't really know who she is, why she basically gets carte blanche to go do whatever the heck she wants, even though she gets you know, hassled by some locals and the police. In this volume, she still is able to go and do her thing, and we don't know who's like pulling those strings or why she has these connections and can roam free and do this. And of course there's some suspicion on her because she's new to the town. It's a very small town. This kind of thing doesn't happen, and by the end of it, like I said, our mystery expands and more threats are present, and this is a much bigger thing than even Erica Slaughter expected or knew what was going on. So it could be the biggest thing that she's tackled today. We don't know that yet. And yeah, so it totally pulls you in from the first pages with those ghost stories, and then that quick shift to, oh my god, this very terrible thing just happened to these kids, and you want to know what happened to them, especially as if you have kids of your own, or if you have kids in your life. You know, I helped raise my younger brother. I have a niece that we've taken care of, so it's like it connects to you on this I don't know, this base level of the human experience. You get that, you know that fear, it guts you, right? And you just want to solve it, and all the emotions going on through all the characters that you're introduced to in this first volume that are dealing with the loss of their loved ones, or you know, in some cases they're just missing, some cases they know they found bodies and that sort of thing. And then there's like a supernatural twist to it, an element to it that kind of complicates things even more for, you know, the adults in the book, because it's that kind of thing. And so, I don't know, I just really enjoy this, and I'm not a horror fan. I do get more into that kind of stuff at this time of year. Like Lisa and I have been watching like a bunch of movies. We watched Barbarian last night, and I've been watching like some random horror movies. We've been watching Devil in Ohio on Netflix, and I've been catching up on Walking Dead. So it's just that kind of vibe that's in the air, and you get into that. So I thought this would be a perfect read for this time, and I was not disappointed. James Tynion does a brilliant job at crafting the story, and the artistic team, they just do a bang-up job at delivering the emotion through these characters, and the action too. And it just, I don't know, there's so much that I still don't know about this story that I'm so invested in. I cannot wait to get my hands on volume 2 so I can continue reading this story and find out exactly what happens in this little town. And I know this is a long story. Like I said, it's up to like issue 26 or 27, so obviously there's still plenty of story to tell, and I cannot wait to dive into it. I highly recommend Something is Killing the Children if you like horror, and if you're not afraid of a little bit of gore and getting your emotions and senses kind of twisted and wrapped up in this kind of story. So check out Something is Killing the Children from Boom Studios as soon as you get a chance to, because it's a really phenomenal read. So with that said, it's time to wrap up this video. Please give it a like and subscribe if you like the channel and you like the content and all that stuff. Follow me across social media at Only Good Comics, and join me next time for another discussion on Only Good Comics. Until then, take care and happy Halloween. Bye.